Your time's running out, Blake. Your time and your luck.
Now, if I call for backup, get down there fast.
We'll be ready.
Gan, keep an eye on Callie.
What if something should happen to you and we can't get you back?
But then all you have to do is get everybody else out of this mess. All right, put me down.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the captain of the Liberator, Blake alias Gareth Thomas, and his arch enemy, the leader of the Federation, Servalan, or Jacqueline Pearce. Hi. I can't believe how long ago it was.
Neither can I.
Do you look upon it as a sort of a dim memory or highlight of the career, or what?
A dim memory, yes. An interesting memory. It's nice to see when one was actually brown-haired and when one was slim and fit, and Jackie was as beautiful as she is now.
Yes. Choose your words very carefully there. It's funny, it really was a costume. Yes. Drama, and you never think they're going to date because they're costume, but they do somehow, don't they?
Yes, and it's also its costume, its attitudes, its acting styles, yes, and its technique. Mm. The technical side, the cameras, everything have changed so much since those days. Special effects have changed; they're now much slicker, much better.
Of course, you only did. There were 4 series, yeah, and you're a bit like Barbara Windsor. Well, not this. No one had let me finish, Jacqueline. A bit like Barbara Windsor in that everybody thought she was in all of the Carry On films. You were only in 2 of the Blake 7 series, weren't you?
Yes,
but you made a couple of comebacks, yes, like Bobby Ewing.
Yes, like Bobby Ewing, yes. He's prettier than I am. Yes, I came back for the very last one. I did only 2 because I wanted to move on. Mm. I didn't want to get totally stereotyped as... I hesitate to use the word hero,
yeah,
because that one can't be, not with a face like mine. But no, I wanted to move on, and I went to the Royal Shakespeare Company after that.
Jacqueline, you were only first agreed to do one episode. One episode? Yes. How did that come about then?
What, that I was asked to do more? Because I was so good in the first one.
Of course, I should have realised that.
Some things never change.
Are you surprised that it took off and became such a cult?
Well, no, because... Sorry.
No, go ahead, darling.
But because, there was Doctor Who, but that was a very different kind of programme. Mm. There was some American thing, I can't remember what they call it now. There's an English actor playing the lead now.
Star Trek,
that's right, yes. But there was nothing like Blake 7. And so it was a totally new concept. Mm. And therefore, it doesn't surprise me it took off, no.
And apparently science fiction is a genre where there are fan clubs in a way that there aren't in other kinds of shows.
Because the fan club, it's amazing. I had a look at some of the booklets that they put out, and they even go in for sort of maps of the studio plans, costume design. Did you get involved much with the fans?
Insofar as we do conventions, yes, and you do in that sense.
Well, what's it like to do a convention? What do you do?
Work very hard. The idea of a convention is, as far as I'm concerned, is to go and say thank you to people for actually watching. And you have to work hard because you have to be on a high the whole time. You go in, I remember the first convention I did with Jackie, and she said, I was terribly nervous. And I looked at Jackie and said, Jackie, what? She said, I'm on a high, darling. And I said, fine. We move in at that level and we stay at that level. And it is extremely hard work, but enormous fun.
Did you?
If I wanted to find out anything about Blake 7, I'd phone one of the fans, because they know more than I do.
Oh, yes.
Did you enjoy all that? Or
yes.
Is it something else?
The conventions?
Yeah.
I find it something else. And it is a bit like being in group therapy for a weekend.
Yes.
It's very emotional. People react to it in a very emotional way. So at the end of being in a confined space with 500 people over a weekend, it's very emotionally draining.
Exhausting.
Did Blake 7 actually have any serious meanings? I mean, some of the ones I jotted down from the booklets were, it was about repression, subjugation, megalomania, hopes, fears of mankind, wrapped into a fantasy package.
I think that about says it, doesn't it?
Is it?
Yes. That and paying the rent.
You can't take something like that, I mean, science fiction, terribly seriously when you're doing it, can you? What was it like?
It's one has to be careful here. Doing science fiction is very like doing farce in one area only. It's real people in an unreal situation. Now, as long as you make the people real, it doesn't matter whether you put them on Cygnus Alpha or Pebble Mill. If they're real people, then it works. There's no, I mean, of course, the repression and all that is within the script. So you work to a script. You can be doing Shakespeare or Terry Nation, doesn't matter. You work within the script.
But I was thinking of working with all those special effects. I mean, that must be an absolute nightmare. I mean, they're not always there. Let's face it, they're not always there, and you're looking literally into
Sometimes
space.
They are
there. We've got a few props here lent by the fan club. I can't actually remember what these are. Does that ring a bell with you?
Thank you. I was going to say, honestly, I thought BBC weren't allowed to do that.
What is it?
Well, I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah.
It works. The original ones didn't.
Yes.
We used to stand and go, sorry, can we do that again? Sorry. And it never worked. It used to be a gun.
Yeah.
And you're talking about special effects. We used to stand there and point it at someone and go like that.
Yeah.
And a little light would come up, which would show up on the box. It doesn't actually say now, does it?
Not really, no.
Not really. And then they would put special effects on after that. Draw it on or whatever. These were our guns. This is what we were supposed to defeat you with. And she's still sitting here.
Now, this was your lot, Jacqueline, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. They were helmets.
Yes, I think I've got the vague idea of that. I'm not sick, you know. Yes. Awful things, really sort
aren't they?
Terrible.
Actors used to love them because they could actually, nobody would recognise them in those. They said, oh yes, I'll do Blake. Sometimes I can wear one of those.
Props have a habit of going missing, don't they? Did any of yours ever go missing?
Yes. I think this is probably the only one of these left.
Yeah.
We also had some bracelets which we used to say, teleport now. It's 3:30, teleport now. And we started off with 40, and I think we ended up with 3. To the extent the scripts were rewritten because, we haven't got enough teleport bracelets, hang on, you don't go down, we'll change that and you can go down.
You obviously had a lot of fun on the series. No. Jacqueline, playing the sort of, you were kind of an evil Joan Collins in space, weren't you?
Yes.
Everybody says they enjoy playing baddies. What about you?
Oh, I love it. It's the best thing to play. They're much more fun, they're much more interesting, and they're much more real because people can relate to them. And people usually, they do identify with the baddie, even if they're trying to live very good lives themselves. It's projecting it onto someone else and having them live out their fantasy for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I was wasting my time for 2 years.
Playing a goodie.
Playing a goodie, no. Did you find, after spending such a long time in a long-running series, that you did get typecast? Did it affect work afterwards?
No, because if you're doing something like science fiction, it can't really affect your work afterwards. There's an element of saying it's just another job.
Yeah.
Within that, you enormously enjoy it. I mean, as an actor, one is incredibly privileged to do a job one loves doing.
But you went on to the RSC straight away, didn't you?
Yes, playing a lover, would you believe?
And nobody was affected by that at all?
No, not at all. And then I went on to play King Rat in pantomime.
Oh, so you got the full,
right, no, the villain
the
is
full
good
range.
Oh, it is good fun.
Yeah, yes,
So,
within a year. I mean, that was great.
What about now? What are you doing now?
I'm at Pebble Mill, I think.
Yes, that's immediately.
I'm about to do, well, I've been asked to do a small film in North Wales, but they won't start filming till leaves come on the trees. And I said, you mean September in North Wales?
Oh, right.
Not like Cardiff. No, I think it's going to be March or April.
Right. What about you, Jacqueline?
Well, I completely changed my life last year because I moved to Cornwall, to St Ives.
Good move.
Oh, absolutely, the best thing I ever did. And I'm so happy there, and I'm actually working as an artist's model. Oh. Which means I finally get paid to take my clothes off.
And writing, I believe.
And yes, I started writing as well, but at the moment, I mean, I know this is just a phase of my life which won't last forever, but I'm very happy working with artists and just taking each day as it comes and finding out exactly what I do want to do. And I know more than anything, I need to be in nature. Right. And I couldn't have picked a better place.
Oh, perhaps when you've finished your book, you'll come back and we'll
I would love
have a look at it.
Can I just say hello to BP and the Witches of Draycott?
Well, I think you've just done it. Thank you very much for joining us here today. Ladies and gentlemen, Gareth Thomas and Jacqueline Pearce.
Thank you.